Today I want to share how I deal with freeze and how I overcame like deep states of freeze, okay? But for that, first I want to explain a little bit what I understand that freeze is like on physiological and energetical level, okay? Physiological level, we know that it's the parasympathetic system that is taking over and it's immobilizing the body. So we have no movement, muscles are contracted, and we are steady, and there is like body functions to the minimum, okay? These body functions to the minimum are accompanied with energetical levels to the minimum, because the freeze is what we know like in nature has plain dead, right? It's like to survive the prey that comes after us. So on energetical level, our magnetic field is also um, kind of contracted, so diminished, and the natural radiation that emanates from our cells, from our pores when we are active, it also diminished. So it's an advantage, right? That we are not so how can I say, detectable for from other beings. Like our source of energy, it's diminished. Okay. So internally, we have a freeze that it's physical, um, but it's accompanied by an emotional and psychological freeze too. Okay, we can see psychological freeze with um, not able to think, have a blank, or it can also come further dissociation, right? We are in freeze, we cannot think, and then we dissociate from the moment, or can lead to dissociation. And in emotional, we can have the apathy, the not being interested in life, in things, and do things mechanical, which is called a functional freeze. So we get out of bed, we go to work or we go somewhere, but actually internally we are not active. We're just doing things mechanical, but we are not fully enjoying life. We are not active. So these two, the psychological and the emotional uh, freeze, are not so detectable as the physical one, because if you are in freeze, like you can see it, right? Even though like we have sometimes muscle pains and some contractions that we don't know where it comes from, and it can come from still a remain state of freeze, but it's more detectable. The others are not, okay, and they usually prolonged in time, they can lead to a diagnosis of depression, for example. Okay, so what I detected in me, it's I always have freeze when it is huge amounts of fear. It makes sense, right? And what I need to do is to be present with what I am experiencing. I know easier said than done, but it is possible. So I do this in layers, because I understood it's a progression what I learned. Okay, so I will share my process with you. I understood that freeze also comes in layers. Sometimes I thought, okay, I'm out of freeze because I was in that freeze and I could already get out of bed, for example, and go for food, prepare food, take a shower, or wanting to go outside. But then I still had parts of me. I don't know if it is because I have the idea, but then I still felt parts of me, even in the body, that were in freeze. Like if I really pay attention to my body and I let it be as it is, for example, I have this part of the body, the arm that would not move, like unless I force it, but it was not like fluid. And I'm like, what is happening here? So I start to pay attention to the body, to the arm, to the emotions, to whatever. So I do it by layers. What do? I sit or lay in bed, like if I was to meditate. And then I start as I have like something around me. And then I go inside. Imagine that the oval around me, it's a 10. And I pay attention to the surroundings, right? Around me, it's a 10. Then here it's a 9. Then here it's a 7. Then here it's a 6. I'm already on the boards of my body. And then inside it's a 5, it's a 3, it's a 2. But I'm not counting. I'm just giving this example so you perceive it as I do it. So I feel the energy. I be present with my body and I feel it, but I pay attention to the external. And then one layer inside, one layer inside, one layer inside. And the pace that I go inside, it's not determined by time, it's determined by when I feel that I had this release, when I feel present. And this needs to be done like very intuitively and uh, with awareness and consciousness. I can also guide people through that if they were working with me. But if you are doing this on your own, you will have to be super present and super in tune to your own emotions and body reactions. Okay. Then at some point you felt the decompression or release. There are very types of releases that our body can. For example, this is one. It just happened. That our body can experience, and then you go inside and go inside until you feel a complete open up. Like you will feel it energetically, like your body it's open up, the muscles that were contracted they relax. If you were not hungry, like you start to feel hungry, like the normal body functions. For example, I had a freeze that was common due to the sexual abuse. I was disconnected from my pelvis or and my whole organs, sexual organs. So sometimes I would not even notice that I need to pee, and then it's like 2 hours after I'm like, I can hold it. And it's like, how is it that I can hold it from I don't have to pee to I can hold it? It's because the disconnection was so much, because that part was in freeze due to trauma. That then when I entered in contact with that part, it's like, okay, now I need to pee. Now I'm hungry. Because I start to be in contact again with the parts of me that are unfreezing. Okay. And it happens with emotions. Like I step out of freeze and then I cry. I step out of freeze and then I have a flash. I step out of freeze. Why? Because I have those emotions in freeze. And same with the mind, with memories, with intentions, with wanting. Okay. So the things that I do that help me when I notice I'm in freeze, or that I'm doing and then I notice, okay, something here is not flowing, so there is freeze. So it works both ways. Okay, I have a list here, so I will read so I don't miss any. So the one that I find that helps me the most is painting, meditating, like I shared, chanting also, vague nerve stimulation. Find videos on YouTube. In yoga, 5 videos on YouTube. Slow walk. Watch sunsets or sunrises. Also, I discovered recently watching birds flying and the pattern in the sky. It's just beautiful. I think it's beauty. Now I got that just now, an insight. Beauty takes me out of freeze. So observation, calmness, contact with nature, observing the beauty. So that's why painting and chanting helps. Observing the moon, like, of course, yeah, it's all in the same category. Now I have a name for it, beauty. So what do you find beautiful in life or harmonic that connects you back to that source of life, to that sense of being alive, right, of being soothed, or being maybe even comfort inside? That will take you out of freeze, or at least make you aware. And then if you need to go further into your awareness to process the memory, to release the emotions, you do it as I explained, or you can try it if it helps you, to gradually go deeper inside your own being and find the relief. Because presence, that I can tell you for sure, presence will dissolve any state and any trauma. So it will also dissolve freeze. Okay? Let me see if I have something else before I end the video. Yeah, take it slow. I know it's freeze, and then take it slow, but that is what helps. It's slowing down. That's why you will find that vagus nerve stimulation and in yoga, slowing down, it's the best thing. Because sometimes it can happen that we leave freeze and we immediately stuck into another pattern response. So we jump from freeze to fight, from freeze to flight, and we don't notice, because now, oh, I'm out of freeze, and then we have this burst of energy, and actually we are going towards the next response. That they are linked, but because we are in freeze, that response that was generated at the same time, we were not able to process, and then when you leave freeze, you step into the next one. How do you know this? You know this by taking it slow and start again, body awareness, emotional awareness, and see what is the origin of that burst of energy, for example. Okay, so I will leave it here. Hope that helps.